is David Barnes. And I'm assuming is it related to an item on the agenda? Okay.
Good evening. I'm David Barnes. Commissioner Coker, congratulations on your appointment.
Yeah, I think you're going to pretty much have to hold him.
Okay. Is that better out there? No?
It's on. I think you're just going to have to.
Yo. Hello? Is that, that's as close as I can get. Okay. I'm here tonight in hopes of getting an answer to an unanswered question around this county, and that's where's the missing money? I'm not here to talk about anything else, just the missing $2.7 million of ARP money that made the headlines earlier this year, and which people are still asking me about, both in public and in social media. Some history. Shortly after I became the treasurer in 2021, the federal government rolled out the American Rescue Plan, ARP for short. This was also known as COVID funds. Local county and state treasurers were invited to apply. So on behalf of the county, I applied for and we received just over $4.4 million in 2 equal payments. At that time, the finance director was made the administrator of these funds. The board at that time impounded a citizens group and heard applications from about a dozen entities and organizations in the county seeking funds. Between these applications and expenditure to update the antiquated communication system for first responders, that board authorized and approved approximately $1.7 million during their term. Prior to the first allocation and expenditure report being submitted to the U.S. Treasury, the finance director resigned. So as the user, I completed the reports and submitted them when required. The next finance director showed little interest, so I submitted the next report as well. New finance rules were adopted by this board via Order 23327 on November 1st, 2023, Section 19 of which states the finance director will maintain a consistently updated list of all grants, including reporting deadlines, financial obligations, and contractual requirements. A new finance director began in February 2024 and was tasked at the meeting on February the 23rd to tell the Board of Commissioners how much was left remaining in the ARP funds. Again, this director did not ask me about ARP or the reporting. On April 25th, 2024, 5 days before my retirement, I submitted my last report to UST, which includes all of the allocations and expenditures for which I received a valid Board of Commissioner order. At that time, there was still $2.7 million remaining to be spent or allocated, a fact known to the incoming treasurer. On May 16, 2024, 2 weeks after I retired, by Board Number 23405, the board allocated $500,000 up to $1.2 million for the clerk's office. For an unknown reason, the U.S. Treasury report was never updated to include this allocation. I do not know if this board allocated any other funds after May. Fast forward to December 2024. The finance director is still not updated the U.S. Treasury report, and the county receives a message from Treasury stating something to the effect of, you still have $2.7 million of ARP money that hasn't been allocated and we'd like it back. Panic obviously ensues. Rather than simply updating and resubmitting the report.
Mr. Barnes, your 3 minutes is up. I'm going to ask you to wrap it up, please.
I'm about to. Just a little bit more. Decision was made, rather than simply updating and resubmitting the report, decision was made to make a public spectacle of the matter, the reasons which for all it can be guessed, but the result of which is public perception that the board somehow lost $2.7 million and is fiscally irresponsible. The finance director quit shortly after I made the truth be known in an interview with redwoodvoice.org. The county has never issued a formal explanation of the outcome of the missing money. The closest thing we have is a statement to an answer by question to the former finance director on social media on February 24, 2025. Question, does this mean there was no money missing? Finance director, the money was not correctly reported nor correctly reported. It is now accounted for. It's time for the county to make a formal statement so people can finally stop asking, where's the missing money? And while I don't expect one, an apology to me would be really nice for the way I was treated through all this. The campaign of inference and innuendo that I was somehow responsible for this wasn't good, and I really don't appreciate it. And lastly, there's another 4.4. Lastly, there's another $4.4 million that came into the county in 22 and 23, I believe, called LATCF. It's Local and Tribal Consistency Fund. There are reports due to the U.S. Treasury on that also, and I hope you don't have the same problem again. Thank you.